Hey, what's going on, everybody? Coach Brian Klepacki here at criticalbench.com, certified strength coach, certified sports nutritionist, certified functional movement specialist. You get the idea. And the whole thing that I'm sharing with you right now is on foam rolling. How to foam roll the neck, the back, the shoulders, the legs, you name it, I'm going to cover it. But first thing, before we start diving into foam rolling, what is a foam roller? Maybe this is the first time you've ever heard about this silly thing. But what it really is just a way of self-massaging yourself, if that makes sense. A little redundant, but you get the idea there. So foam roller, I've got this black foam roller here. This one's a high density foam. I've got this little red shorty here that's a little softer foam. Now, if you're beginners, obviously you're going to be starting off with something that's a little less painful. I've been foam rolling for many years now, so my body is pretty good at tolerating pain. And when I say pain with foam rolling, I say pain in a good way. It's not a bad type of pain. So I traditionally go to this just because I'm used to it. If you're not used to it, start with something a little lighter. You can find foam rollers pretty much anywhere these days. You can find them at sporting goods stores. They're all over the internet. They're relatively inexpensive, but what you need to know is which type is good for you. And most websites will give a good description on the type of roller being used. Now, like for instance, this is called a rumble roller. This is a little more aggressive. It's a little almost barbaric looking. The whole idea with these knobs is to give a more localized pressure to certain parts of the body. This is definitely not for a beginner because this is, like I said, a little more aggressive. And I'll be doing a couple things with this just because it hits a certain part of the body much different than a traditional roller. Some rollers might actually have a PVC pipe inside surrounded by some padding here. This is going to be a little firmer and not as much give. And the cool thing about this, you can travel with this, put it in your suitcase and shove some clothes inside here. This is my travel one. I bring this with me. It's lightweight. It actually might even be a cool wine holder. You could put a bottle of wine in there. Well, whatever. So foam rolling, what it is a great way to wake up inhibited or sleeping muscles. It prepares you for movement. It prepares you for sport. It also increases proprioception, which is a good way of just saying muscle activation. It gets you ready for movement. Another thing that the foam roller does is increase your core temperature, increases blood flow. So it's just like a massage. If you've ever had a massage, you're definitely going to feel awake, feel ready to go after that massage. Another great thing, before we start getting into the foam rolling, is foam rollers is a great way to speed up recovery. So if you had a really good leg workout and your legs are sore and you need to do something to kind of release that soreness, foam rolling is a great way to kind of speed up the recovery process, help decrease muscle soreness. Whatever platform you're using the foam roller with, you want to make sure you do it properly. There's a couple things you need to apply, and I'll explain them as I go, but again, use it as a warm-up, use it as a cool-down, and use it on your days off. Now, as far as timing goes, you want to make sure you spend at least a half a minute to a minute on each muscle group. Now, there's a bunch of different muscle groups on your body, so be intentional. Give at least 5 to 10 minutes of a warm-up using the foam roller. I guarantee, I've been doing this long enough that I know that foam rolling is beneficial. My clients are happy, my athletes are moving better, and it is a powerful tool. Now, some people might argue saying it's a waste of time, it's not beneficial, but they're lying because they don't know what they're talking about. So without further ado, here's a foam roll tutorial on how to roll the entire body out. I'll kind of go slower than usual and try to break it apart just so you have a better understanding. So the first part of the body that I always start on, me personally, and I always have my clients work on, is the glutes. We live in an era that we tend to sit a lot more than we stand, so our glutes become inhibited. What I mean by inhibited is just they're not firing as much as the other muscles in our body. So I always go to the glutes first because, again, the glutes are the center of the body. They connect the lower body to the hips. They connect the upper body to the hips. So glutes are pretty important to wake up. So when I'm rolling out, I think you should also know, pretend this is a muscle. You've got, it's surrounded by the fascia. It's connected from bone to bone. The roller should be rolling this way. to work out any imperfections or knots with the grain of the muscle. But also you want to roll side to side. This is what I call flossing. You're also getting a lateral movement in that muscle to kind of move that muscle in a way that it's not normally used to. So when you see me rolling, you know, this is forward and back for my glute max, but I'm also moving side to side, doing that flossing. So long as you're moving or the muscle or the foam roller is moving, you're doing good. Again, just for the sake of this video, I'm not going to spend a minute on each muscle group, but just know that you need to. So glutes, rolling all part of my glute real quick, making some intentional passes. So I got that group taken care of. I'm also not going to show you both sides, but you get the idea. We'll make sure you're doing right side and left side. So from there, then I go to my hips. Hips are the second most tight or inhibited muscle part of the body, especially that front of the body, or the hip flexor there. So the hip flexor, you've got your TFL there, which is something that we're definitely going to touch on in a second. Now, when we're in regards to the IT band, the TFL is a key player of that particular part of the body. So a lot of people, especially runners, I'm a runner myself, and I've suffered from IT band problems. IT band is if you can see from here down, you have two muscles intersecting the top of that IT band. IT band connects to the outside of your kneecap here. So a lot of people say, hey, my IT band is hurting. So they say, hey, let's foam roll. Well, hold on a second. You can't roll out your IT band because it's a tendon. You can't roll out tendons. Tendons are a lot stronger than a muscle. So what you need to do is actually focus all your time and effort onto the surrounding musculature. Now, a lot of people get the IT band pain right there. That's just a result of, that's where the pain is going to sit. And it's usually from a tight TFL and an inhibited glute muscle here. So what you need to do is focus on the TFL, and I guarantee your IT band problems will go away. So to roll out that TFL, you're going to apply downward pressure on the outside of the upper quad. I always tell people it's right where your pants pocket would lie. Small passes. Now I'm going to roll side to side. You'll get a much different feel on this one than rolling up and down. It's a great feeling. And this is another hot spot of the body that if you do sit a lot, if you have a desk job or you drive a lot, focus on that part of the body a lot more because that muscle is usually bound up and needs to be released. So we've got the glutes, we've got the hips. Now let's go to the adductors. That's inner thigh here. I start deep into the groin, pushing down, and then working my way out from the groin towards the middle of the adductor, inner thigh. From the inner thigh, then I work out towards the knee. Still pushing downward pressure. Now there's another thing you can do is, again, moving side to side on that roller. And obviously you would do the other side. Now we got the hips, glutes, inner thighs, but now let's work on the actual thighs themselves. So this is one of those muscle groups that's pretty tender. So what you need to do to avoid or circumvent the tenderness is to go both legs. This one won't be as intense. Now if you like the pain and you like the intensity, go to one leg. But still, start from the top, work your way down towards the knee. So I'm working in an up-down movement, but you also want to move side to side. Flossing that muscle. Never am I touching that IT band. I'm just kind of trying to cover the entire part of that leg. So let's go to the hamstrings now. Hamstrings are definitely a good muscle to roll out. Somewhat challenging though. I'm going to switch over to the rumble roller here. This is a little more intense. You also want to make sure you go almost back to the butt, right underneath the bottom of your butt cheek there. That's where the hamstring begins, and the hamstring carries all the way down to the mid part of your lower leg. So we're going to roll that whole way down. That'll take care of the calf muscle there. Now, when you're rolling out, the quads will probably be a little more tender than your hamstrings will be. So when you're rolling out, you're like, hey, I don't feel anything in my hamstrings. That's fine. Don't worry about that. You're still doing good. You don't necessarily have to have pain or sensation in order to get the benefit from this. So that's why what I do when I do my hamstrings, I try to push down into the roller, stabilizing with the hands behind me, pushing down. Now let's say you did heavy deadlifts yesterday, I'm sure your hamstrings will be feeling it. Now when you go past the knee, like I said, just go right past it. Don't put any pressure behind the kneecap. There's really no muscle there. There's more tendons and nerve endings that you could do some damage on. So just avoid that altogether. Now we're going to the calf. Another one of those parts of the body where you have to apply some downward pressure. And as a runner and a cyclist and all that fun stuff, calves are very sore. They're always tender. There's always knots in them. So let's talk about knots real quick. If you find a hot spot, usually calves you'll feel a couple knots or so. You don't necessarily want to work right on the calf. You want to work all around the calf. See, I got a knot right there. So what I'm going to do is maybe back off on pressure a little bit and work around it, softening up the area around it, and try to work out the kink without causing too much soreness. Work down to the ankle, the Achilles, perineals, rolling side to side. You might not be able to tell, but I'm sweating a little bit. That's gets your temperature up in no time. So that took, I don't even know, that took maybe 5 minutes. That was just the lower body. Now let's go to the upper body. This one might not feel too good on the lower back, so what I'm going to do is go back to my black roller here. We're going to go lower back. Now before I get into it, let me tell you a little bit of a disclaimer here with the lower back. Some people have been saying lately that you should not foam roll your lower back. I don't see any research saying you shouldn't. It's just kind of speculation. But I will say that if you have any type of herniated disc in your lower back, your spine's fused, or known trauma has happened to your lower back, avoid this particular movement. Now, my athletes, most of them are injury-free. My clients are injury-free, so I do have them get this. Also, we've been working on their mobility too, so they have good spinal extension that they're able to relax and expand that spinal column. So with that said, this is an exercise that's great for your lower back. Put the roller on the upper part of your lower back. I'm going to go quiet for a couple seconds. I want you to take your time relaxing your spine, focusing on your breathing, and try to go to the curvature of the roller and release. Good. One more time. Good. Now let's move up to the thoracic spine. That's your middle spine here. Same thing applies. I cradle my head on this one. Arch back. Release. Do at least this at least 5 times. I'm only going to go to 3. 1. Good. All right, now let's move to the upper back here. This time I reach my arms up overhead. This allows the scapula to push apart so you can hit that middle part of that upper spine. Hit those muscles within the upper lats, the rhomboids, the teres minor. Release. Incorporate just a little bit of movement between those muscles there, between the shoulder blades, excuse me. Good. That takes care of all your postural muscles. Now we're going to go to our lats. Now I know you don't have perfect posture. I don't have perfect posture. So the lats, usually on the outside of the lats near the shoulder blades, they're going to be a little tender, especially if you do things like pull-ups, any type of rear row, delt work. You're going to find some tender spots in there. So pardon my faces when I roll this out because it is painful. Now the thing with the lats is that, as you can see, I'm in one position here, but the shoulder, the ball and socket of the shoulder is very dynamic. So what you need to do is change the position of your arm to get a different part of that scapula to glide in place. All right. Let's fast forward there. Now let's go to the delts. You've got the front, the side, and the rear. Now these you can also do on the wall. I usually do my my side delt on the wall and travel up to the neck on the wall. On the floor, I can get the front part of my my delts and the rear. All right, so that pretty much breaks it down into a full foam roll workout or routine. I know I only did one side of each, but if you do both sides of each, at least a minute on each muscle group, you're gonna be spending at least 10, maybe 15, 20 minutes. You can go as slow as you want, but don't go as fast as you want. You wanna enjoy this, you wanna make it as beneficial as possible. Now, last thing I want to share with you about the foam roller, you can actually do some exercises on the foam roller. I had a client of mine who was had recent wrist surgery, and he wasn't able to do push-ups. He loved doing push-ups, so what he did was actually grab the foam roller and knock out some push-ups on here. So I'm going to show you a couple more exercises that you can do using the foam roller as a piece of equipment to get a little bit of stability work going on. I also use the foam roller for some mobility exercises. The first exercise I like to do with is a glute bridge with the foam roller squeeze. So you won't be able to see it, but I'll lift my hips up and squeeze in, trying to crush the foam roller. Now I can actually feel my glutes firing a lot harder, and then release. Since we're on the floor, might as well do some more glute work and hamstring work. You can even throw in some hamstring curls and glute bridges again on the roller. So if you want to get those hamstrings firing, let me adjust it real quick. Roll out, pull in. Roll out, pull in. So I got a little hamstring curl going on. And then we might as well throw in some glute bridges again, getting up a little higher. One more exercise and then we'll wrap this thing up. I'm going to show you a knee tuck using the foam roller. I kind of like this one. It's not as strenuous as it might seem. So pull the feet in and then roll back out. Slow and controlled. You get an anterior tibialis roll on that shin. But you also get a little bit of core work in there, as well as some shoulder work. All right. So hopefully you learned a thing or two. We covered a lot of different stuff. But in summary, what you need to do with the foam roller is you just need to do it. Warm up with it, cool down with it. Again, 30 seconds each muscle group at least. 2 minutes would be preferable. Working on the hips, going all the way down to the feet. Then we're going up to the spine and working our way up. Anything else that I might have missed? I really don't think I did. I think I did a pretty thorough job covering all of that. You know, you can do a couple of different exercises with that. I love the foam roller. Try it out. I promise that you're gonna find this to be beneficial in waking up your muscles, warming you up, preparing you for movement, and also help alleviate any strain or stress that your body might be facing. Before you go and shut off this video, there's something else I'd love to share with you. It's a report that I wrote. It's called Why Stretching Won't Make You Flexible. In order to get it, you have to click this box here, give us your email, and we'll send you a copy of it right away for free. If you're on a mobile device, you can't click this box, but what you can do to get it is click the little arrow under this video description here, or excuse me, the video here. That's going to open up the video description area. There's a top link there, criticalbench.com/stretching. Click that link, give us your email, and we'll send you a copy of it free right away. We appreciate you watching. Check out our other videos by subscribing to our channel. Like us, share us. Feedback. Love to hear what you have to say about this particular video, or maybe you have a suggestion for an upcoming video. Whatever it is, whatever you want to share with us, post it down in the comments section below, as we do watch this page, or we check our page regularly. Again, thanks for watching, and definitely keep foam rolling and have fun doing it. See ya.